Hello everyone, my name is Anathryn and welcome back to another YouTube video. In the last YouTube video I built this gorgeous little medieval style tavern here, and in this video I want to build a tower next to it and some stables because, every tavern needs a stable because how else are they supposed to get here? You know, we have no cars in this era, lol. So let's jump into it. First off, I've got to clear some area again because for some reason I decided building in the middle of a forest was a good idea. Now, unfortunately, I've got to get rid of this beautiful tree. I really like this tree. Very upset about this. But once we've done that, we can start building the tavern. Oh, it's raining. Great. I do wonder how this is going to work out because I've decided to use a slightly different block palette, especially for the roof. I want to use some deep slate because I honestly don't think I've used deep slate in building before, which is kind of crazy because it is very cool looking. Okay, so I've decided to go with a circle with a diameter of 9 blocks, because that feels like it's kind of similar size to the tavern then, so the proportions aren't like, we don't have like a really skinny tower and a massive tavern. I don't know how tall I'm going to make it yet, but it probably won't be much taller than the tavern, if at all. I've kind of picked out these 8 grey blocks here, with these are like on the darker end and then these are lighter, so I'm going to attempt to do a bit of a gradient, so it's going to be darker at the bottom and then lighter at the top of the tower. And I'm just going to start with doing like the basic structure of it, like I did with the house, before doing any detailing, and we'll see where it goes. So in between this clip and the last, I did shuffle the tower just to the right away from the tavern because it was feeling a little bit claustrophobic, and then you can see here I'm just building up that gradient, trying to go from darkest to lightest and keep it kind of natural as possible. I'm really happy with this gradient. I definitely think it looks quite nice and the blocks do seem to merge quite well, which is really good. I tried out this gradient here. I do quite like it. I feel like it's kind of a bit messy in the middle and the tough bricks are a bit odd, but I do like this transition from like, what is it, pale oak wood to the acacia wood. I think that's quite nice. And then up here as well, I think is quite nice. The middle, I do feel like it's a little bit messy, but I also think that once we get detail on, it won't be as obvious as such. I think the next stage, just to give it some, like an interesting shape, is to maybe bringing the corners a bit. So, as in, do this, but still keep these bits, like the outer bits. I don't know, it will just add a little more shape if it goes in a little bit, and then at the top it will probably come outwards again a bit for the roof. Okay, so now I want to put the roof on my tower. As I mentioned before, I want to use some deep slate for this. So I've just picked these deep slate tiles. And then I'm also going to use dark oak rather than spruce, just because we've used quite a lot of spruce in this part of the build here. Yeah, and we'll just see how that goes. So then I started building the roof. It's quite circular, and I'm also kind of keeping the arch vibe, so the middle parts of the roof are higher up than the corners. And then I built up these deep slate all the way into the middle to create a bit of a point, like that. And then yes, there's a skip here because I spent a really long time messing around with the shape of the roof. Like sometimes it was too round and other times it was too square, and it was a whole thing, so I have cut most of that out. But this is what I have come to, and I'm happy with how it is now. So I've done the roof now. It definitely took a lot of trial and error to get there, but I have done it. It kind of looks like a Viking helmet. I don't know why, that's the vibe I'm getting off it. That's okay. I feel like it is actually really dark compared to the rest of the build. And I'm sort of hoping that once I put the little building stable thing that I'm going to put on the end of it over here, I'm going to basically use the same colours for the roof down there, and hopefully that will balance it out. And then I might use like a darker flooring on the inside of here as well, which might help with that. So the next thing that I want to do now is actually like lay out where the stable is going to be, how large it is. I feel like it's not going to be that big, but that's definitely the next step before we start any detailing and stuff. And I might just think about changing this because I've changed the flooring in here, and I don't know. Yeah, and that's definitely the next step. So I might do some fiddling with this tower, just make it a little bit better, and then I'll get on to that. Okay, so the outline of the stable is done, and now I just need to pop the roof on. So I'm going to start by just putting these deep slate stairs in, and then I'm going to put like some detail like this along the edge, because when I was scouring Pinterest I saw someone do this and I liked it a lot, so I'm gonna do this along the edge to add some more interest with wiggly lines. So then I just filled in the roof with these beautiful deep slate tiles. I love the look of them so much, they're gorgeous. And then I did a bit of like a spruce border around the roof, and here I changed the order of the squiggly lines because I didn't like how it squiggled. That's what's happening there. Okay, the roof is on. I do think having that deep slate down here definitely does kind of balance out the darkness that like is at the top here to some extent. Now we have the base of the building down, it's time to go into detailing. I did put that chimney in, but I felt it, I wanted it there, even though that technically counts as detailing. Okay, so if I try building the arch out of wood, I'm gonna start by using the oak and the stripped spruce logs. And then I'm going to do the same thing as I did last time with the stairs here and here. But another issue I had with the stone arch I tried was that it was quite chunky, so I'm not going to do the exact same design that I did last time. Instead, do this. I definitely prefer that it doesn't blend in as much, which is good. And it's not like too chunky like the other one. I think once I add more detail as well, I can make it fit more into the build. Yeah, it does look pretty good. I think I'm just going to add some shelves around the bottom here. Not there. Because shelves are great. Yes, I quite like that. Okay. And I'll punch a hole through here, and that's where the door's gonna go. Perfect. So now that I have done this doorway, I've put in these little pots here with the swirl and the dog, because why not? I think they're really cute. I like the doggy. And I've just started a little path here. I'm gonna go round and do what I did with the tavern over here, and just kind of put all this mud around the outside, just to try and integrate it a bit more into the surroundings. I'm also gonna try and put little bushes along the outside rather than the trees, because I think I have other ideas as to what to do around the whole of the tower. I've also added a fourth block, brown mushroom block here into the block palette, because it does mix quite well, and it just adds another variation into the pathway. I'm now going to try and use walls to add some further kind of variation within the build. Let's try this. So go into that, and then that. Let's of that. There you go. That adds some more depth to the build. That's good. So then I just went around the whole of the building, added bushes along the bottom, and then also vines further up, which I forgot to record that bit, but you'll see it in a moment. Okay, I'm going to call the outside of this build done, which is very, very nice. I've got the interior to do still, of course, but I thought I'd just give you a little tour of the outside now. So this is a whole view of it. I like this. I've added lots of greenery, which you saw me do, which definitely gives it some life. And I was worried about how dark the roof up there was before, but honestly, it looks really nice, and I'm not worried anymore, which is nice. It's a tight squeeze. I've just joined up the paths here in between the buildings to make them look less on their own two little islands. But yes, this is very, very nice. I'm liking how it's looking, and now I've just got to do the interior. Okay, so the interior is done, which means the build is finished. I'm so excited. I'm really, really happy with this, and especially with like the new block palette I used with the gradient up the tower and stuff, and all the foliage as well. It looks really, really cool. Very happy about this. So I'm going to show you around. So this is the front door, as you know. We come through here. There isn't really dedicated rooms. There's just loads of storage. There's like a map, and there's just, it's kind of all that's going on in here, to be honest. It's just lots of stuff. Creates a vibe. I think you can see which painting is my favourite, because I tell you what, it comes back a lot. I used it in the tavern as well. I love this. And just some things up here as well. And then here is kind of like, you know, a little bedroom so people can stay over. And a desk with a lovely window. And then up here is a top. So this is like and I put chairs up here so you can watch from the tower. Bits of armor as well, kind of that vibe that it's a watchtower. I wanted to put some weapons around as well, but I don't really know where, so that's kind of what this storage is for. So like I haven't actually done it. In Imagine, it's full of weapons and armor and stuff, so that if anything comes and attacks, everyone will be ready. And then this is literally the only way out. You have to go all the way back down like this. I think I showed you building the stables, but I'm just gonna like show you again. I've plopped a horse in there, haven't named them. Kind of feels mean actually. Yeah, so a bit of storage where their like food and everything will go, and yeah, this is just where they live, and that's like the whole building as a whole. That's all that's going on. I'm very pleased with this. I'm really enjoying the gradient on it. I really am. I'm very happy with this. Very happy with this. Yippee! Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun. I'm so excited as well to start working on my next video, so I'll see you soon. Bye bye everyone!